There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
Plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
I've got to return some videotapes.
Hi, I'm Chris,
And I'm Joe.
and this is In the Veins. Today we're going to talk about...
It's one that I have touted for a long time as a classic that didn't get the respect it deserves. That opinion might not be the opinion I expressed today.
I still think that.
Horizon,
I still
1997.
think that.
I do think it deserved more love than it got. But the 90s-ness of it
Ooh, it's
kind
heavy.
of beats you. It beats you over the head. 1997. Let's get through the statistics here.
Okay.
Paul W.S. Anderson, great choice for a director.
Yeah.
Written by what's that?
He had just done Mortal Kombat, right? That was his last big thing before this.
Oh my god! It's, with the advent of MK1 and all that, I've been following the Mortal Kombat community, and there's still a lot of love for that first Mortal Kombat movie.
It's fun.
It's
a lot of fun.
It does, especially coming on the heels of like Street Fighter, the live action movie.
Yeah.
People were like, "Why was there no street fighting in Street Fighter?"
Yeah.
And then Mortal Kombat came out, and they were like, "They're doing fucking combat, and it's Mortal. It's great."
Yeah, they were doing flips and kicks, and monsters were showing up, and
Doing their stuff.
Sub-Zero did his thing, and
He did. He zeroed the subs.
yeah, and somebody said, "Get over here." It was perfect.
I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for. So written by Philip Eisner. Our cast here, we've got Lawrence Fishburne as Captain Miller, Sam Neill as Dr. Weir, which is like, already, that's great.
Yeah.
Those two are great.
Yeah.
We've got Kathleen Quinlan as Peters, Jolie Richardson as First Officer Stark, who feels like she got a lot of her part cut out of this movie. Feels like she just isn't there for a lot of stuff. Which is a shame, because I think she's very good.
Well, they edited the shit out of this movie. Like,
Yeah. We'll
get to that later, but they did have to cut a lot.
Yeah, Richard T. Jones as Cooper, the medic. Jack Noseworthy as Justin. Try as I might, the only name I could find for him was Justin, and I'm like, everybody else is referred to by their last name, so that must be his last name?
Yeah.
But he looks like a Justin.
He does look exactly like a Justin.
I mean, he's got that Justin face. Side note, I had a run-in with a kid named Justin in second grade. He went up to me on the playground and said, "I'm the fastest runner here," and I said, "No, you're fucking not." And we said, let's race. And then we raced, and I beat him. And he was, that was when I gained the conception of what an enemy is. My enemy was Justin, and I had defeated him.
Yeah. Did he want a rematch later, or like?
Oh no, he just kept talking about and you cheated, and and my legs, and but he never like proposed to. And I was like, let's go again.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. It was pretty epic for second grade.
Being the fastest kid is important in second grade.
Important. Jason Isaacs as DJ Trauma, and Sean Pertwee as Smith, aka Smitty, who is the ship's pilot. Released August 15th, 1997. So it should have been. It was lined up to be a hit. It was a summer film, summer blockbuster. Budget is $60 million. Worldwide gross $26.6 million.
Yeah.
A dismal failure. And there are still people who talk about we should do a sequel, we should do a sequel, we should do a sequel.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a lot of we should do a sequels before we see a sequel.
It's never going to happen.
So
I think we'd be more likely to get a remake than we'd be to get a sequel.
And I would be fine with I'd be fine with it ultimately. I think you get to go in a different direction. I think there's we'll get into it as we get into it, but there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like a lot of things in this that are like we're explaining to the audience things that our audience at this point is sophisticated enough to know.
Yeah.
So we start first of all, we open on. They do some fun business with the Paramount logo. We start on the Paramount logo, and then the camera kind of like slides up into the sky and into a star field, and then we transitioned into kind of a wormhole effect, and then we get the techno music of the 90s. This was my favorite music at that time. I have a hard time listening to it now without feeling massive waves of anxiety. That's me. That's who I am. That's where I'm at. But it's fine. As far as the credit sequence goes, I think it's okay. It is interesting with a movie like this. I think that they didn't do something over the credits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do cold open or something, but so we go from that into just the vast void of space, and we get a little bit of the history of the future, a prologue about in 2017, I think we established a base on the moon or something like that.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like watching their timeline was hilarious in 2025 because this movie happens in 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It happens in 22 years.
22 years, and we're still arguing over whether the Earth is flat or not.
Yeah.
Because obviously it is. So in 2040, the event horizon is reported to explode in what is called the worst disaster in the history of space exploration. Hard to believe when fewer crew members were on the event horizon than were on the fucking Challenger when it blew. But okay,
and
I guess we'll just take that.
That's what Amber, my wife, she said that like while we were watching it, she's like, seriously, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Like in all this time, there hasn't even fictional space disasters bigger than this must have happened by then,
right?
Like
we've got real ones. I don't know if we got Yeah. Okay. And then 7 years after that, we suddenly get a distress signal around close orbit on Neptune, and it's the event horizon back again. Yeah. So that's and so now we got to go and we got to go and check it out. And we actually start with a little flyover of the event horizon, the ship itself.
Now, the director wanted it to look like Notre Dame, and
I remember at the time hearing like we took plans from Notre Dame and digitized them.
Yeah, and then like twisted
schematics.
them. And what they ended up with was a bird of prey. Like they ended up
less.
stealing a Star Trek design.
There's this convention that plays into the story of the engine over here and the crew quarters over here, and then we can blow them up and we can do all this. So the shape of the ship has to be the shape of the ship. And there is a problem with a shape when it's a long, stretchy, a long shaft in the middle. It's bulbous at one end.
Yeah.
And comes to a point at the other. I remember this, something we ran into in art school, Christopher.
Yeah.
Is it going to look like a dick? And to be fair, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But it just, when I look at it, my first thought is that it looks like it does. Which one am I thinking? Is it Warbird or Bird of Prey? Which one am I thinking of? One of them wraps.
Prey.
Yeah, one of them wraps around, and the other one looks like it has wings.
Version of the Bird of Prey.
Yeah. It just has that stance, like the front end
I'm not
looks
arguing
like
with
the
you.
head hanging off the neck, and
it's got a
like,
bulbous front, like nose cone on it, and it's got the long shaft, and then the engine's at the back, and that's like it looks like a deformed Bird of Prey.
Oh, and apparently, and I didn't spot it myself, but I read that somewhere on that ship, like as an antenna array, is an entire X-wing fighter.
That makes sense.
A model
That's
of an
cute.
X-wing fighter just attached
Just
as an
jammed in
antenna.
there.
Yeah,
that's cute. That's cute. I'll take it. That's fine. No, it's a Klingon Bird of Prey if it was, but like reimagined by like the Warhammer universe.
Yeah,
because that kind of hyper goth aesthetic is very, very Warhammer.
And I'm sure you'll talk about, you know a lot more about that than I do, but about how some people see this as like a Warhammer origin or something.
It is, yes. We'll get there when we get there. But my notes is just say like it occurred to me that it looks like some kind of a medieval hand-to-hand weapon, but like a ceremonial version that's been like over baroqued. You know, this just got so many details on it. It's a nice model. I like it. What I don't like is the CGI of stuff floating around in the ship. And I would have taken shit on fucking fishing lines better than this. Like, this is really bad.
It is. It's terrible.
And I don't know how you look at it and go, cut, print. And then from that, we hard cut to the inimitable Sam Neill as Dr. Weir. And he wakes up from a nightmare, and he sure misses his wife. She's not there. He is. He wishes she was there. He misses her. And then we get, he's shaving, in space. And he gets his morning coffee, but it's in space. And then as we pan out to him drinking his coffee in space, we show that he is, in fact, in space. And there's a little voiceover that the Lewis and Clark is docking and he needs to report to it or something like that.
Yeah, and what I think is a damn shame is that shot nowadays just feels throwaway. Where they pan out from his window and you see the space station.
Sure.
But it was a huge deal. Like, that's where a significant portion of the budget went into just that shot.
Right, I'm sure there's at least 4 or 5 layers burned into that image.
Oh yeah, and there were miniatures, and there was compositing, and there was
lighting, background, foregrounds.
Beautifully done. It's just that, and a lot of practical stuff went into it. And nowadays they do it, and it would look better, and it'd all be CGI, and it would. But they put so much time and effort and money into that one little shot, and they were so proud of it. And now you watch it, and it just is like, oh, he's on a spaceship. Like,
yeah, whatever. They're always in spaceships. Yeah. And the thing is that none of this, like, you could have cut this whole thing and started right from waking up in the space pods. In my opinion, and the only reason not to do that
is that Alien did that.
Is that Alien did that, and that's there's a lot of that in my notes too. So then we get to see the Lewis and Clark. It's kind of a squat, bug-looking spaceship. It's not ugly necessarily. It looks like a spaceship.
It's utilitarian. It's
utilitarian.
It's a working ship. It's not glamorous.
But the and I put this in my notes too, that the interior owes just fucking everything to Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this could be in the Alien universe if it wasn't for the supernatural elements to it. It really could. And then we get them all sort of getting ready to get into these grav couches. It's a liquid-filled chamber that they're going to use for like an impulse drive. It's a what you call it, ion drive. It's going to move them super fast. But they couldn't take bodies couldn't physically take the G's, so they have to sleep in these grav couches. It's almost like putting them into stasis.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they're going to sleep,
right? So but we're not saying that because that's also like another sci-fi convention that we would have to come out and say and then bite off of Alien. So
and everything else. I mean,
it is at this point. It's just like it is what it is. But at that, I don't know if that point maybe we were more they were more self-conscious about that, perhaps.
I feel like this movie. I sort of feel like everybody decided to make this movie, and they're like, "This is going to be rad," and then they got there, and they're like, "How do we make sure that it's not Alien and it's not Hellraiser?" And then they tried to stay,
and somehow they made it both. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I like this movie. I still like this movie.
I love this movie.
Saying I don't like this movie.
Yeah. It is definitely a product of its time, though, but we look at 80s movies that scream 80s like it's a good thing.
That's true. That's true. Maybe it's just the nostalgia for the 90s hasn't hit me yet, so I'm not quite there.
Oh, it's hit me. I've been nostalgic for the 90s for a while, so I like going back and watching like Blade and Matrix, and
I mean, I have everything the Prodigy ever produced, and it gives me anxiety. So that's where I'm at. But we do get a brief discussion that we're, we get a brief discussion on the bridge that we're headed for Neptune. And I got this. Smith says, why can't we go to Mars? Mars has women. You get it? Mars needs women. Mars has women. We've solved that problem. That's one problem down. I thought that was very cute, a reference. Also, there's this weird thing. Everybody else is in kind of like a like an office chair just sliding around.
And
And Lawrence Fishburne is in a robot. Is like a robot controlled chair.
and it forces his knees together. Like he sits weird. Like
He sits
he's
very awkwardly.
and it kind of jiggles around.
It just moves really slow, and everybody else is moving very fast. And he's just like, he's continually turning from left to right the entire scene. He doesn't stop because he can't, because he's moving so slow, and it just makes him feel like he has zero control.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember in Team America where the dude in the wheelchair in the command center is just zipping around like...
But he's not. It feels like Dr. Evil. Like, wait till I come back around, and now I'm back. You know, like it's very pathetic.
Yeah, and when they all get up to leave, everybody gets up, and he waits for his chair to turn around and face the door, and then he gets up.
Why is he the only one with it? Oh, the robot chairs really bothered me. I just got stuck on that, and I'm not. I still don't. I think it feels like it's broken or something. Anyway, so then Weir is being annoying because he keeps trying to talk to people about stuff, and they're like, "Can we just get in the grab couches and get ready to leave? Come on, man." So then they get in the grab couches. We cut to 56 days later when they're about to reach the event horizon, and we get a pan through of the ship, and it's quiet, and it is like exactly like Alien, exactly like Alien. And then. So then Weir wakes up alone, and he hears his dead wife's voice, and he follows the sound of the voice to the bridge, and, you know, we get the classic, you know, is someone there? And then the captain's chair turns around, and there's his wife naked, and then she turns around to face him, and she has no eyes, and he screams, and then he wakes up, and it turns out it was just like the dream he was having in hypersleep or whatever the hell he's doing on the grav couch, and he's actually like the last one out, and I think at least like 2 people ask him if he wants coffee. Like they keep trying to force coffee on him. I don't know if that's, you know, it's a fun little note. But that's our first kind of clue about the nature of the supernatural BS we're about to get into. And then we're going to have a briefing on the mission itself. And this is the meat and potatoes. And again, I feel like you could have just started here and, you know, saved the budget. But, you know, whatever. So we're in Neptune. We're around Neptune. And everybody is, again, I can't keep saying that it's like Alien. But it is exactly like Alien. Like, are we going to talk about the bonus situation? Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
we're
it's
all
that...
kind of...
Ever since Alien, though, you know, that working class people in space thing has
but the
been...
thing is, in Alien, there's a reason that they're not focusing and paying attention. It's because this isn't their job. Their job is space mining or hauling space mining equipment or whatever. And this is actually their job. They are space ambulance drivers.
But they're pissed because they were supposed to be...
They're supposed to be on leave.
Yeah, they're supposed to be done for a while, but they got that cut, and, you know, what's her name? Doesn't get to see her kid. He tried to get her cut from the mission, but it didn't work out. And fair.
They're
just pissy because they got called back into work.
They're very antsy and they're in vacation mode.
Yeah.
So then they reveal to the crew that it's the Event Horizon that they've received a signal from, and they're all in disbelief because they believe the history that the Event Horizon blew up. And this is when Weir has to reveal to them that the ship was not just an exploratory science vessel like they were told, but it was actually an experimental vessel for FTL, faster than light travel. Mm-hmm. And then we have to get the whole explanation of how wormholes work, which is again something that I feel like modern audiences, we've already gotten this speech a couple of times.
This is the first one, though. This is the first movie where they did the paper and they fold it and push the pin through.
I feel like we saw it on Star Trek Next Generation.
All the trivia claims that this was the origin, and then they used it in Interstellar, and then they used it in something else.
I mean,
but this was the first.
It is in theory, like, not just is it the first time that we've seen it in film, but it's also just that is in fact how wormholes in theory work. Is you fold 4D space over on itself, and then the 2 points become one, and then you just walk from one to the other, and it's cool. And we're calling it a gravity drive because that sounds neat.
It does. It does
It
sound
uses-
neat.
It uses gravitons
To
for the
drive.
gravity drive. So that's what we're doing. So the Event Horizon turned on its gravity drive and disappeared and never reappeared until now. And the only thing we got is a weird snatch of transmission. DJ, the medic, says, "Oh, I think I can hear a voice in there say," and he says in Latin, "Save me." So
This is the transmission that Weir has on recording.
right, and it's just sort of like screams and weird noises and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit at the end where it sounds like he thinks they said "save me." There's also a great moment where they're introducing themselves to Weir, and they go, and DJ turns to him and goes, "DJ, trauma." And everybody laughs just like that.
That's a great
it's
DJ name. If
is.
if I were going to be a DJ, I'd
DJ
be
Trauma.
DJ Trauma.
DJ trauma. DJ trauma. Call a ambulance. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
I need a soundboard, Chris. I need a
You
soundboard.
do. That would be fantastic.
God. So anywho, so now we're doing the job, and seriously, the robot chair.
Again, yeah, with
Oh
the
my
robot
God.
chair.
And he's like, they're in the middle of doing stuff, and he's just sort of slowly, like, he never stops. It's like, is that what it does? Is it just to, like, slowly rotate through the room, like the captain's supposed to have his eyes on all corners simultaneously? Because it seems like a terrible idea. But anywho, that happens.
Well, and it comes down from the ceiling too.
It does,
You
and
know,
it's-
it's like
I have this in my notes too, that it feels like they intended for everybody to have a cool robot chair, and then they built one and were like, oh, budget?
yeah.
And so it's just like, we'll just give the captain a robot chair. Everybody else can just slide around on
Turned
office
out they
chairs.
wanted to be able to build other sets too. So
Oh my gosh. Anywho, so the Event Horizon is in the ionosphere of Neptune, so that means there's clouds. It's really just
sure it does.
it's really just an excuse to have a dark, stormy night.
No, it is, and they said
around
that.
The Event Horizon.
They said as much. Like it's a haunted house movie in space, and damn the science, they wanted it to be cloudy. Like
Well, they succeeded.
Yeah.
Because they call up, they move up on it, and the ship like reveals itself out of nowhere, which is so funny because it's like, whoa, gotta hit the brakes, and it's like he literally was like saying out loud because he was watching with radar how close it was. Like none of the appearance of the ship is surprising to the
Yeah.
pilot.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're all fine. But it is cool. It like emerges from the fog like a ghost ship, and it's very neat. And then so they go and they fly around, and they find the main airlock. Funnily enough, the main airlock is number 13. It is XIIV. I thought that was cute. And there are weird life form
wait,
readings.
XIIV? That's not 13.
Yes, it is.
Wouldn't XIII be 13?
Oh, yeah, no, that must be that one then. I mean, they both would be 13, but it must be XIII. You're probably right. Anyway,
So it's fucking Super Bowl airlock.
so yeah, so they find the airlock, the cabin's chair slowly rotating, and there's weird life form readings all over the ship. Like the whole ship has non-centralized generic fog of life over it, but you can't pick out any actual life forms on the ship, which is weird. And Weir wants to get on the ship as fast as possible, and Miller's like, no, we gotta check it out first, make sure it's safe, because something did actually make the ship disappear and potentially kill the entire crew. Maybe chill for like 15 minutes. So the people that go aboard get to be, it's Captain Miller, Peters, and Justin, because I assume Justin is expendable.
Yeah, he's our red shirt.
Yeah. The Peters has the nickname Mama Bear, and Justin has the nickname Baby Bear. I assume they're in a sexual relationship. So we get, again, and some of this stuff that they pay a lot of time and effects to is kind of space business that, again, here in the modern era, we've seen so many times that we take it for granted. Like pulling up to the ship and extending an umbilical and then going across and opening the airlock and all that jazz. But essentially the ship has no temperature, but it still has pressure. So they got to keep spacesuits on because it's too cold. And there's no gravity either, apparently. So then we're exploring the actual Event Horizon, and we get more old CGI with the different space or not even space junk. It's just assorted junk.
Yeah,
it's like
just
like
there's a
disposable
VHS tape.
cups.
Did you see the VHS tape? Just rotating.
I don't see why they need a VHS tape. Their log is on a CD.
Yeah.
A compact disc. So we get the layout of the ship, which is that pretty much the engine is on one end, everything else is on the other. There's this long neck corridor that connects the two, which the airlock is right in the middle of, and we get this whole thing with like the neck is lined with explosives. So in case something went wrong with the engine, we could blow the connecting corridor. The engine can go wherever, and the front compartment would float off like a lifeboat.
Yeah. Because foreshadow.
Because that's what we call foreshadowing. So then we get some stuff of them exploring. There's a little jump scare with a floating glove in medical with the captain. Justin goes straight to the engine room because we don't have time. We need him to get fucked up. We need something to happen. And the engine room is, if they're trying to not look like Hellraiser, they failed.
Yeah. But
there's these spike-lined irising doors.
Yeah.
And then there's one of those
like a gyroscopic thing.
Well, it's just like even before you get that, there's the corridor that they have in every haunted house where it's a giant spinny tube.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're spinning.
Yeah.
And then they get into the room.
Side note on that scene, that spinny
Yeah.
death tube is
Yeah.
what inspired the masher machine in Galaxy Quest. The part of the ship that always has the like thing.
That's amazing.
The writer of Galaxy Quest saw Event Horizon, and that's what made him want to put a part in the ship that was like that.
That is so quality. And it makes perfect sense because they're like jutting blades all along it too,
Yeah.
right? Like
it's the inside of a food processor, basically.
Yeah,
it's a
super bad.
disposal. It's
and this guy has to go down this like corridor designed to make you dizzy.
Yeah.
Lined with spinning blades.
Into a room full of spikes.
Into a room full of spikes. Like a
With
room of spikes.
With some sort of weird liquid.
It's supposed to be coolant.
Okay.
They mentioned very briefly there's been a coolant leak. There's coolant all over the place. There are these big CG bubbles of coolant floating about.
Yeah, but when the gravity comes back on, it goes into the pool that it was clearly designed to be in. Like,
yeah, I don't know what they're cooling.
Yeah.
That part is never made clear what part needs coolant.
You gotta if you don't cool your black hole.
I mean, you need a pool, a moat around it.
Yeah.
And the engine room itself is cool looking.
It is. Yeah.
It is badass with the three, like there's a sphere inside a circle inside a circle, and they're all rotating on axes inside each other. The idea is that these are layers of magnetic containment.
Yeah.
Yes, that is supposed to contain the graviton gravity drive. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Peters is exploring, and she doesn't see. There's like massive amounts of like goopy, bloody gore on the windows.
Yeah.
And,
the background is just caked in
right.
blood.
And there's no light, so
guts.
it's just light from like lightning outside in the ionosphere. And she's trying to retrieve trying to get the log. Again, it's on a literal physical CD that's stuck in the some piece of machinery on the bridge. And she accidentally discovers what she terms the corpsicle, just a frozen dead body.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a cute term. Sounds like corpsicle sounds like a Metallica song. Meanwhile, Justin is trying to restore power in the engine room, and the rings on the central spinny gravity drive align, and suddenly the gateway is open. So the sphere is no longer a sphere; it's just this pool of black. And he kind of does the whole thing where it's like, oh, what is this? And sticks his finger in and pulls it back, and the stuff floats off his finger and goes back in. So he sticks his hand in, because that's what you do when you don't understand things scientifically, is you just start sticking limbs into them.
Yeah.
And this is another problem I have, like that, it's all very heavily CG, and it's like, you could have shot this rotated 90 degrees with an
just in
actual
a pool
of oil, and it would have looked so much better.
It would have.
And I don't know why we didn't. But he sticks in his arm, and then it's something grabs him on the other side and sucks him in. And then there's kind of like a blast of force that shoots out of the gateway. Like I guess it's supposed to be like an EM pulse or something.
Yeah, it just rattles everything.
Rattles everything and really fucks up the Lewis and Clark. Like cracks the hull. To the point where now Cooper is on his way to come and rescue Justin in the engine room. And they essentially have to evacuate the Lewis and Clark for the Event Horizon while they effect repairs. So Cooper goes to try to get Justin, and Justin just sort of like floats back out of the gravity drive. He's unresponsive. So then, Smith doesn't want to go aboard it's the evacuation of the Lewis and Clark. Smith doesn't want to go aboard the Event Horizon. He does not like it.
Yeah.
He is the resident, it's spooky, I don't like it. And he is, of course, correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sean Pertwee's always good. Like,
he is. I like him a lot.
He's always been my vote for, like, if they made not just Discworld, but if they did like the Sam Vimes stuff, he was always I'd want him as Sam Vimes. But like I first saw him in Dog Soldiers, I think.
Yeah. He's tremendous. Mm-hmm. He's fun in this. I feel like again, the story focuses more on Lawrence Fishburne's Miller and Sam Neill's Weir, and you've got some really good actors in the background who just don't get a chance to shine in this.
No.
And he's definitely one of them. But I like his role as the guy who because Sean Pertwee's so grizzled, and he is the scared guy, and he's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, he's the common sense guy. He's the fuck this, it isn't worth it guy.
Yeah. And so with the gravity drive active, excuse me, I need to take some water. The gravity drive active, gravity gets suddenly restored on the Event Horizon. Which means we get to see the corpuscle in the bridge just drop to the ground and shatter magnificently. And then the bubbles of coolant that are floating around the engine room suddenly turn into real liquid and fall to the floor. And we're all like, oh, that was supposed to be liquid and not just a CGI mass I was pretending like I couldn't see. So and then we get the aftermath. We get the damage report. The radio is screwed on the Event Horizon. And, of course, they're off the Lewis and Clark, so they can't do much with the Lewis and Clark. And with the damage done, they need... the damage done to Lewis and Clark, they're going to have to steal these filters, air scrubbers, they call them, for the Lewis and Clark just to make it home. And so then we start getting into what the heck happened on this ship in every way, shape, and form. Justin is comatose, Weir says from the description of Cooper how Justin kind of was gone and then suddenly appeared. It sounds like the gravity drive was on, but that shouldn't have been possible. And Cooper is just resolute that it definitely happened because he saw it, And then that's when Weir reveals that the gravity drive isn't just like a time-space distortion device. It actually generates a small black hole. Which feels like a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't think that generating the most devastating force in the universe on purpose is the way to move your spaceship around.
Right. And like poorly understood. Mm-hmm. It seems like a bad idea. But that's what they're doing.
We also just have to, it's like, oh yeah, we contained it. We just,
we got magnets.
We got magnets and it's contained.
That's cool.
And it's good.
Magnets. It's fine. It's perfectly safe. Then he starts speaking backwards in Latin. So then there's some spooky goings on all throughout the ship, this whole next bit. Peters is in the med bay trying to make sense of the logs. She hears a noise. She grabs a scalpel and goes to investigate. There's one of the beds has like a sheet over it. And the noise is somebody scratching at the sheet. And when she pulls it away, she finds her son on the bed. And his legs are all messed up.
They're all, like, mangled. Like, in real life, he's in a wheelchair. Like,
okay.
You see him in, like, the little videos and stuff she watches where he's in a wheelchair. But then she sees him and he's on the thing and his legs are just bloody and mangled.
Right. And then DJ kind of comes up behind her and scares her. And then when she turns back, the kid is gone. On the video log, Like, what do you know? It's a theme that the captain always has a robot chair. There's one on the captain's chair on the Event Horizon is also a spinny robot chair.
Well, but his was more impressive. It was more of a platform. You know, he
yeah,
had
his
like,
is attached at the bottom, not at the top, so his legs aren't awkwardly dangling under himself like he's on a thrill ride.
It felt like much more of a Captain Kirk chair, like something you could really get a good lean in, you know?
You're right. It's footage of them like setting out and stuff, and he says something in Latin, which shows that, okay, that's where the Latin is coming from, is the captain spoke Latin, and then the video goes scrambled.
Yeah, it's the cheerful, we're so excited about this new adventure video.
And then the power just like shuts off. And it turns out that it's the gravity drive is kind of siphoning power again. So Miller and Weir go to investigate. And then Weir goes down, opens a maintenance hatch and goes down. And just the whole design, like, they really did knock it out of the park with the design on this thing. It is goth as fuck.
Yeah.
It is so cool looking. Like, the corridor he's going down is these, like, green, it's like the circuit board green, but it's lit from behind, so it's all like this green glow around him.
Well, it's like he's in the Matrix. It's
it really feels like he's in the middle of the inner workings of the engine.
And the medbay looks like catacombs. You know, it's got the archways. They're steel. They're not stone. And there's the, not stained glass, but obviously indicating stained glass. Right. In the design of all the light up windows and stuff around it. And stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's just like the whole look of the engine room. Like every time we see it, it's like it's more and more intensely awesomeness.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like 90s goth. Like when we say goth, we're talking because goth now is not the same.
No, it's Clive Barker goth.
It's Clive Barker. It's the Crow goth. It's Matrix goth. It's put spikes on it, make it black, make it leather. Fucking make
it shiny.
Yeah,
do it. Yes. Justin in the medbay starts convulsing, and he starts saying things like, he's coming, and they're like, who's coming? And he says, the dark in me, whatever. It's the kind of thing that we had in movies back then. We're in the tunnel, like the tunnel goes dark, and then the light starts pulsing, and he hears his wife's voice again. And then his flashlight starts pulsing with the lights of the tunnel, and then he sees his wife right next to him without her eyes, and then she vanishes. You know, and then Miller in the engine room.
So this is where he's in the engine room and sees his wife.
He's in the in that green corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weir is, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then, meanwhile, in the engine room, waiting for Weir, Miller sees the coolant kind of burst into flames, and then he sees a burning guy emerge from those flames.
Yeah.
And then everything just kind of disappears. And then we have a meeting on the bridge to discuss what the freaking hell is going on around here. And everybody has been seeing crazy stuff, and everybody's kind of freaking out. And Weir wants to try to hand wave it away. He's trying to say, like, there's low oxygen, you can hallucinate, all this jazz. But Miller insists these did not feel like hallucinations. Like, he could feel the heat of the fire. It seemed real.
Mm-hmm.
And Smith is just like, well, the ship is fucked, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, he gets it. And Smith wants to beat the shit out of Weir. Like, he really wants to fight Weir. And DJ has to actually, like, come and restrain him, and he actually puts, like, a scalpel up to Smith's neck.
Yeah.
And it's like, and everybody's like, whoa, we're not.
And then he realizes that he's gone too far.
And we're all kind of, So Miller sends Smith to work on the repairs of the Lewis and Clark with Cooper, which is a good move, considering that he wants to beat the shit out of Weir. And Parker thinks the ship is it seems like it's alive and it's reacting to them, almost like antibodies reacting to a person.
Yeah.
Which is not 100% invalid. And this next part is the part where Justin gets caught outside. And I titled the section, I'm not convinced this is how explosive decompression works. But then again, this is about a spaceship that went to hell and came back a demon. So what the hell do I know? So, okay. But anyway, Peters is in the med bay, pacing. DJ is doing stuff that DJ does. And Justin is comatose once again. And then suddenly Justin is gone. He's no longer on the bed. So Peter starts looking for him, and they hear an ominous pounding sound, and then the lights go out, and then they pulse, and then there's kind of an explosion, and Peters and DJ just run to the bridge, and it's like this pounding noise is chasing them the whole way. Whatever's chasing them, like they get to the bridge and they shut the door behind them, and whatever's chasing them puts dents in the door trying to get to them. Yeah. So it's pretty insane. And then Weir is on the bridge in the captain's chair, and he's just weird and calm about it, and he's like, we gotta, like, open the door. And everybody's like, no, we won't open the door. And then they get an airlock alarm, and it turns out that Justin is in the airlock, sans suit, and he's about to open the outer door. So they call, everybody kind of, Stark and Peters and DJ, they all go to the airlock door, and they're trying to open the door, and they're trying to talk Justin down, and he's not acting like himself. So they call Miller, because he's outside working on repairs of the ship with Cooper and Smith. It feels like he's just sort of like, he's doing that boss thing of watching them do it to make sure that they do it as fast as possible. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah,
like,
he wanted an excuse to not be on the event horizon for a minute.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. He says he's 30 seconds away. And so we're at the airlock door trying to override the controls, and then suddenly Justin like comes to, and he's himself again, and he asks them not to let him die. And it's really difficult because they literally can't open the door with it once he's started the cycle. And Miller starts talking to him over the radio, like, expel all the air from your lungs, curl up in an ass ball, close your eyes as tight as you can. And Justin starts going through explosive decompression, like blood is coming out of his eyes and his veins are popping out.
It looks cool, like the
it's very cool
veins and stuff. They did a great job on the.
Yeah, he's looking vascular. He's looking good, very shredded. And then the door opens and Justin floats out, and Miller catches him immediately and closes the door behind them. And there's a lot of blood, and they do manage to save him. Weir, by the way, on the whole time is just sitting on the bridge and listening, and he's somewhat gleeful. And in the aftermath of it, we stuck Justin in one of the grav pods. He's stabilized, but he's hurt, but he's still alive, which is a lot for this movie.
Oh yeah.
And Peters just won't go back to the med bay to work on the log. Miller wants to work. Miller sends her up to the bridge to work on the log. She doesn't need to go to the med bay anymore. And this is when Miller confronts Weir. He wants goddamned answers. And Weir is very dismissive and has to admit that he doesn't know exactly where the gravity jive sends people. Like, by design, it's supposed to send them to their destination, wherever they are, in folding space. But he doesn't know what it actually does. And so this is the crux of the film, essentially, is that the gravity drive opens a doorway, but it opens it to hell, or at least a dimension of suffering that is the closest that we have to the human concept of hell.
Yeah.
And it's populated by demons and evil and all this stuff. This is where we get into the idea of Warhammer 40K universe. In Warhammer 40K, there is a subspace dimension. This is how faster than light ships travel, FTL ships travel in Warhammer 40K, is that there's a dimension where they can move. Locations in the dimension correspond to locations in our physical universe, but you can move faster than the speed of light in that universe. It's kind of a subspace kind of thing. But that universe is actually like a psychic reflection of what's happening in our universe. And humans are so toxic and awful that it's become populated by essentially demons that delight in destruction and murder. And so by humans going into it and traveling all over the place, occasionally ships just get taken by demons. And they come back as chaos units. They're kind of infected by the chaos of the realm. But that's why they call this like a Warhammer 40K like soft prequel movie, because that's essentially what they're saying they're doing. They're going into this it's trans-dimensional space, and
they're the first ones that accidentally ended up in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's fun. Warhammer 40K also like the grittiest, like most overly gritty thing you've ever seen in your life. In a great way. It's a lot of fun. Okay. We get into a little bit of Miller's backstory about this burning guy and whatnot. And it's just Miller and DJ in the grav pod bay, and Miller is just telling the story about there was a fire, a space fire, and
On a ship.
on a spaceship in space.
Just doing my space laundry.
It still hurts when I space. So there was a fire. Miller got everybody out of the ship, but the other, except for one guy, or everyone he could get out of the ship, there's one guy who was trapped, and Miller essentially could not save him. Like, there was no physical way for him to save him. He was overtaken by the fire, he was on fire, he was burning, but he was calling out for Miller to save him, and Miller just sort of, like, shut the door and left him. So he's kind of haunted by that, understandably. And then DJ reveals that that the message that he thought was "save me" in Latin is not "save me." That he cleaned up the message even more, and it's actually a much larger phrase, and it says "save yourself from hell," which is pretty on the nose for how much they're beating around the bush on this thing. Well, again, that's the crux of the story, is that this thing is from hell. It's going to show them all their worst fears. It's going to delight in torturing them and all that jazz.
Yeah. But you know what?
What's up?
Fuck that captain. Like, if you're going to send a warning message, do it in English. Tell us exactly what's happening. Save yourself from hell in Latin.
I mean, but that's not, like, it's dramatically appropriate.
Sure.
In the video, we see, we do get a brief snippet of video here, I think, in a little bit. When he says it, he's holding his own eyes in his hands in front of him and laughing, you know? Which we can talk about that right now if you want. About that,
the
crazy video.
Yeah. That was one of the main things that had to be edited out of the movie.
Yeah, apparently they
they shot a lot.
They shot a lot. They hired porn stars.
Yep.
Which it's never been said that, like, they shot stuff and the rating was too severe. They had to cut stuff for an R rating. No, they shot stuff. Executives felt it was too extreme.
Yeah. And
they cut it. So what exactly do you need porn stars for? Because it's so far out there, but not far enough out there to get an X rating?
Yeah, well, they just wanted all of the hell orgy stuff to look realistic, you know?
And hell orgy is the term that gets thrown around a lot. Apparently it was, in fact, a hell orgy.
Yeah. Yeah, and they went for it. They've said a bunch of times that it's like, if you're going to do hell, you can't, like, hold back. So,
right. I mean, it has to be the worst thing ever, right? I mean,
and he was doing, like, he was shooting this. He'd shoot the regular movie all week and then spend the whole weekend shooting stuff for the hell orgy. And they put all of this effort, all of this time, and got all of this footage that doesn't even apparently exist anymore. Like, you can't even find shitty, like, dailies of it. But
no, apparently the footage was all destroyed, or it was lost in a fire or something
like that. But there's, like, no hope for a director's cut, basically.
Yeah, it's a shame, because the original edit of the film is supposed to be much better.
And this, like, the shitty CGI really dates the movie and gets in the way, but they did all of that shit practical. Like, they did. There's so many practical effects and so much model work and so much, like, set design in this. They used the biggest stages they could at Pinewoods. They used the James Bond stage at Pinewood.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, the production of this was massive, and then you got a shitty, glob of coolant in the air and a VHS tape spinning in the background, and it's all you see.
It's true.
And then they edit out, like, 90% of the, like, gore that they filmed for it.
Yeah, it ends up feeling like a movie that hints at something larger, but has a lot of scenes of people walking around looking scared.
Yeah, and they had to chop, like, I can't remember the length, but the first cut that he turned in was like 2.5 or 3 hours or something. Like, it was a big, long movie.
And that's a tough bite, because, like, a sci-fi horror like this, it's hard to fault people for wanting that to be like a tight 90.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's something like this can be really tough, especially when everything is just sort of like scares, or a lot of jump scares, or a lot of just, like, intense gore effects.
Yeah.
But things that amount to just hallucinations.
Well, and Mortal Kombat had done well, so he kind of got to do what he wanted to. Okay. And he got into doing this and was going all out, and then I think that there was something that was supposed to come out in the summer, but it got delayed, and so they basically told him, hey, your timeline got shorter. We need you to fill that gap.
That's
so
tough.
It was just sort of all of these things coming together. And, we talk about how it's like Hellraiser. I mean, Clive Barker consulted. He was actually
You can feel his
spoken
fingerprints on
to.
it.
Yeah, but I would love to see a director's cut of this.
But it's just never going to happen.
It's just...
That's one of the reasons why like a remake or even a requel is appealing, is because there is definitely a larger universe at play here. Sam Neill is essentially playing the same character that he played in The Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job, and I like the kind of conflict with Weir and Fishburne, because Fishburne isn't a classic horror protagonist. He's absolutely sure of himself at every moment. He's an EMT. Like he's very kind of like, okay, this is the plan, and then we execute points 1, 2, and 3. And if something goes wrong, we have an A, B, and C. And he's always action oriented in that way.
Yeah, and trying to protect his crew, like
right. He's got his priorities very well set. It's nice. It's nice. There's not a moment when he's really rattled, which is not something you see in a horror protagonist a great deal.
But Weir is, clearly, like, his agenda the whole time is selfish.
Yeah.
He
seems like he's already halfway there when he's drinking coffee on the space station at the beginning. Like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we find out what happened to his wife, we know that he's been unhinged this whole time because of the trauma, but...
And this is just the latest manifestation of it. This is just what he's been working towards the whole time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, things get worse. Miller gets a call from Cooper. The repairs on the Lewis and Clark are more or less finished. When they test it, there's like a small leak, 20 minutes, and they'll be able to go. That's when we get Parker and Peters on the bridge working on the log, which I think I got one of those characters wrong. I think that's actually Peters and Stark. Everybody has such like blah names, it's hard to keep them straight. But it's the first officer and Mama Bear Peters. They're working on and that's when we get the crazy hell orgy video, which is not a lot.
It's not. You kind of see some stuff going on, and then
there's a lot of blood, and then there's very shaky cam.
Yeah.
And then Miller shows up, and he's like, "Hey, 20 minutes, and we are out of here." And Weir is like, "I don't want to stay," and it's like, "Yeah, we know you're evil. It's cool."
I will say, not to stay on the hell orgy for too long, what they cut it down to at least communicated. Like it. Oh yeah. You get this glimpse of this in the room that they're in.
Right.
Like this thing happened where they're standing, and you're watching the video of it. And it's...
fair is fair. I don't think it fails. I don't think having more would have done more to communicate what we were dealing with. I think we kind of already know this is from hell. These are evil, and everything like that. And it's about eternal suffering and all that jazz. Mm-hmm. I think that in the video that we get is kind of it's enough. Yeah, it communicates that. It's effective.
It's kind of like the little glimpse of hell in Talk to Me I thought was really good. Do you remember that? The kid
I don't.
That's in the one kid bashes his head into the wall, and then he's like in a coma.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you get the glimpse of, he's not just in a coma, he's in hell. Like,
right. Yes.
But it's the same kind of thing where it's like horrific, but it's quick, and you don't have time to really like identify
soak in details. And, and that's the thing is sometimes if you're given time to soak in those details, because you're able to kind of analyze it and look at it and understand it, it can take some of the edge off.
Yeah.
It can be a little less impactful.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that we ended up with the worst version of it necessarily.
Not necessarily. And I wonder if the all the stuff they shot was meant to be just played as one long block, or if they were going to use it in different ways throughout the movie. Like
that's a possibility. Like keep coming back
hallucinations, flashes of it, things like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Sprinkled across the thing, but
we'll never know.
We never will.
But Miller tells Weir, like, forget your ship. We're gonna shoot the Event Horizon with TAC missiles.
Yeah.
Once the Lewis and Clark is clear. Why they have TAC missiles, I don't know, but okay.
Well, I mean, they're kind of a military rescue kind of a thing. I mean, I don't know. They're not, like, defined. They're not Space Marines.
I suppose that's true, but, like...
But at the beginning, he says, you know, when shit goes wrong, we're the ones they call.
I guess. I mean, they have TAC missiles, whatever. That's what we're doing. It doesn't matter.
It's for space pirates, Joe.
It's for space. And Weir is home, you know? Of course you are. You're fucking evil, dude.
Yeah.
So Peters and Smith are in the engine room, and they're getting these air scrubbers. Apparently most of them are no good, so they have to kind of go through all of them. And so it's taking a little while. And the air scrubbers are these they look like baseball bat shaped, essentially. They're just long tubes.
Yeah, they're just big cylinders.
Big metal cylinders, yes. The engine... Smith leaves the room, and the engine kind of calls to Peters. And Peters sees her son running around. And he disappears into the kind of like a corridor in the engine, and so she chases after him. And I noticed that the corridors that she's walking through, they're like coffin-shaped, which was a neat detail. And she kind of chases after him, and it kind of tricks her into falling from a height into the coolant pool around the engine, so she dies.
Yeah. She hits some shit. Like, she doesn't just fall and...
Yeah, she doesn't neatly fall into the pool. She kind of like...
She gets...
next to it, almost.
Pretty mangled, yeah.
Yeah. Weir comes into the engine room then and sees... he finds her dead, and he has a moment where he's genuinely concerned for her well-being. And then he hears his wife and starts hallucinating, and he has this big extended hallucination where he watches, essentially, in the room, like a ghost in the room, as his wife commits suicide in the bathtub.
See, this was, again, another really impressive practical thing they did. That was all continuous, and the sets were built modular. When he follows her and it turns into their, like, apartment or whatever.
Right.
That wasn't an edit. That was the way they moved the camera and the sets. He walked into that space. Like, it was just a really neat little piece of filmmaking there.
It's very cool, and it shows like I think the practical effects are more impressive than the digital effects in this.
They really are. They did a great job with the practical effects, and
I think they did.
The digital just poisons the well.
And then suddenly, we snap and he's back on the ship. She tells him that he's never going to be alone again. And he blinds himself. He rips out his own eyes.
And we never get an explanation for why she killed herself. Like,
I assume she was sad.
Well,
she had him as her husband, you know?
That's true. And it probably... I guess it's easy to make up a story for it. He was obsessed with his work. He was never paying attention, whatever.
Gravity drive this and gravity drive that, you know?
Maybe once the Event Horizon disappeared, he fell apart and started drinking and abusing her. Who knows?
Anything's possible. So then Cooper is done with repairs, and Smith is on the Lewis and Clark, repressurizing and all that. And he sees Weir... only from above and behind, so he doesn't see his face, but he sees Weir walking out of the airlock to go onto the Event Horizon, which we know is a little weird. And he's trying to stop him, like, hey, get back here, we got to get out of here, and all this jazz. And Miller, as he's coming out of the Event Horizon, notices one of the explosive charges from the corridor is missing. And so he radios to Smith on the Lewis and Clark. Smith is convinced that he has planted a bomb on the Lewis and Clark, which in fact he has. By the time Smith finds it, there are only 6 seconds. There are only 6 seconds left on the timer, and it blows up in Smith's face, and it utterly destroys the Lewis and Clark.
You get that really cliched moment of him finding the bomb and knowing he's going to die. The Jeff Daniels and Speed moment.
I've heard before where Jeff Daniels has been asked about that moment. He says like he held tension in his face, and then when he realized it, he dropped the tension. That was it. That was all he did.
Yeah.
And Smith has that he has that kind of moment of like, but the nice thing is that he dies on the Lewis and Clark. He doesn't die on the Event Horizon. So it's almost like his soul is clean, you know. And I mean, like, he would rather die than go back on the Event Horizon.
Yeah, and
so
he didn't hallucinate anything. Like, he wasn't affected by the ship in any way
But he
other
was the
than
most spooked by it. That's
no,
the
he
weird
was
thing.
he was affected in the sense that he was like against it, like he was scared of it, but he didn't get sucked into the thing. He didn't see his mangled kid.
So then Miller sees the ship blow up. Cooper, who's working outside, actually gets blown into space on a giant chunk of the Event Horizon. And we get this moment of him, like, he's spinning out in space, and he's like, okay. And he blows his air tank and starts heading back towards the Event Horizon.
Yeah.
It's honestly great. Because it is like spinning in the void of space that's just terrifying.
Yeah, and honestly, like I kind of disagree with it being great. Like, it was one of the moments that I felt didn't really fit, because he's kind of like, oh man, seriously? Like, like he's taking it so lightly that he's been blasted into the void of space.
He is the closest thing this film has to a comic relief.
Yeah, I guess maybe I didn't think that was the moment for comic relief. Like...
Probably not.
I mean, it fit his character. It went along with everything else he'd done, basically, as just, I don't know, like, it's a real tense moment, and I know you're supposed to build tension and then get a relief, and then there's a whole
But we're in the middle of a
equation there. Yeah,
we're in the middle of a tense sequence. Like, this isn't the
tension wasn't done
engine
yet.
Yeah. So it's just sort of like an aside. That's fair. So DJ is collecting materials from the med bay, like, we're still getting out of here, and then Miller has to call him and be like, we're not going anywhere. Take out Weir. He's nuts. And DJ's like all about that.
Oh yeah.
But it is far too late.
It's like, let me find my favorite scalpel.
Yeah. Weir is right behind him, and he's kind of super strong and just starts throwing DJ around, and then he kind of like guts him. Tosses him on a table and guts him. By the time Miller gets there, DJ's hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, just strung up, wide open.
Yeah.
Again, a great practical effect. It looked great.
It's good stuff. So Miller grabs a a space bolt gun. We see Cooper using one of these earlier. It is a gun that shoots bolts in space.
Yes.
I have to be specific about that, because there is in fact something called a bolter or bolt gun in Warhammer 40K, oddly enough.
Oh, okay.
And it's not. It's just a gun. Well, it's not just a gun. It's a good gun. But anyway, so he grabs a bolt, and he's going to start hunting for Weir. And so Miller makes his way to the bridge, where he finds Stark knocked out on the ground. He kind of puts his gun down to kind of wake her up and get her on her feet. When he gets to get up again, his gun is just gone. And it was like next to him. And then it turns out that Weir is in the robot captain's chair, and he has sewn his gaping eye holes shut. And he lets them know that, thanks to the Hell Dimension, the ship is in fact alive. Which, the trailer will tell you that. And Weir starts the gravity drive. I like this concept of the haunted house in space. I like the concept that the ship is alive.
Yeah.
And Hell made it so. And the ship is essentially a space demon now. And it's also this idea of, like, a haunted house is not just a house that contains ghosts, but, like, you're in the digestive tract of the beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is how it digests you.
Yeah, the ship, the house itself is possessed and has, physical parts that represent.
Yeah, and it's out to get you. It's out to get you. It's going to get you. I like that concept a lot. That's one of the reasons that I think the movie sticks with me, and I've defended it so much, is because I think it's a cool concept. It's a cool marrying of sci-fi and fantasy, fantasy horror. It's just neat. And I like the fact that we got there through, scientific hubris. And actually, I would like to pause right here.
Yeah.
I know we're pretty close to the end, but I want to pause for a bathroom break.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So then Weir starts the gravity drive, and once it's started, it cannot be stopped. Stark
That's a terrible design.
It really is. Stark tries to rush at him, and she gets knocked out again, which she was just knocked out. Like, I don't think she knows. Like, she probably can't do math as good anymore.
No,
I would worry about.
She's gonna feel that later in life. I think.
Yes, I worry about the long-term repercussions of all these concussions that she's receiving. Miller then tries to rush Weir, but then Weir pulls out the bolt gun on him, and they get distracted because just at that moment, Cooper shows up at the main like ship window.
Yeah, on the windshield.
On the windshield, and he has made it to the event horizon. He has survived. God damn it! And as soon as he gets there, Weir takes aim and shoots at him.
I don't understand that. Like, I get it's just kind of a reflexive thing he does, but
I think I think he was intending to shoot out the window the whole time. It's just that Cooper happens to be there. Like that's.
I thought he wanted to take them to hell and not kill them all right there.
That's a valid point. I think I don't know. He knew he has no eyes, but he has this. He can still see. You know what I mean? Like because he's a blind guy waving a gun around. It seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But he's not like waving it randomly. He's pointing it at people directly and all that jazz.
Oh yeah, because he's fully possessed now. He's like part of the ship.
Right. He's an extension of the ship.
Yeah.
So it's not like he shoots the window out by accident.
I know. I just don't understand the plan because I thought that he wanted to take them.
Right. He seems very gleeful about the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Just sort of a chaos thing. I don't know.
And he blows out the window, and he, I think, is the first one to like go out it. Like the robot chair gets sucked out the window. Rip. That's our only robot chair that we have left in the movie. Now that the Lewis and Clark is gone, was the hunk of ship that Cooper was on when he was floating in void of space? Was it the robot chair?
It might have been.
Oh my God, that's the core of this story.
Yeah, Miller might as well just toss himself out the airlock at this point. He doesn't have any place to sit down.
He doesn't have anywhere to sit. So the chair gets ripped. It's an awesome thing when you've got like the vacuum of space pulling against you or whatever, and the chair, the steel chair riveted to the floor is ripped out, but you're fine because you're holding on with your arm.
Yeah. Yeah. Your super strong flesh and bone arm.
And Stark was still knocked out.
Yeah, she comes to.
But not till after the chair is ripped out.
Well, she was on the floor below.
Of course.
So the vacuum of space is up here.
How silly of me.
And she's down here.
The vacuum of space didn't see her, so...
No, it hadn't noticed her yet.
It's a movie. So Weir goes out the window, which is probably in everybody's best interest. Miller pulls himself through the main doorway kind of hatch of the bridge, and then the doors start to shut, and he wedges the doors open with a pry bar.
With a Halligan tool. That's not just a pry bar.
Oh, well, excuse me.
That is a, fire and rescue tool that honestly had no reason to be there.
Well, they're rescue people. You would need it on a spaceship in case of emergencies.
It was just there. It was just right next to the door.
Why didn't it get sucked out first?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So he manages to pull Stark with him into this corridor. Then they hear the airlock alarm go off once again. They go running to the airlock and they're ready to attack whatever comes out. And it turns out that it's Cooper. And he's like, "Don't hit me!" And so Cooper's alive. He made it against all odds. Like at least 4 times he should be dead. And he survived. So then we come up with this escape plan, and because the only way to shut off the gravity drive is from the bridge, presumably from the robot chair that's been sucked out the window. So that's not going to happen. So they decide to do what we've set up from the moment that we walked on the ship. They're going to blow the connecting corridor. They'll float away in the personnel pod. The engine can fuck off back to hell. That's fine. Everybody's happy. Miller has to manually prime all the explosives.
Yeah.
Design flaw. And along the corridor, and he gets a detonator and whatnot. Cooper and Stark go to prep the gravity couches. I don't know how much prep gravity couches need. They seem to need a lot. But they're prepping.
I don't.
You know.
I don't know what You've always got to prep things. You've always got to
things, and you got to have really what you need is a reason for Miller to be going to the end towards the engine by himself.
Yeah. And something for them to do that takes some amount of time.
Right. In the meantime, they're prepping the gravity couches, and then there's a kind of like like the grav liquid is in this giant tank, and it just starts filling up with blood, and then there's a flood of blood, and none of that is kind of resolved. It's just they run from it, and then we cut back to Miller. Like, it's not important. That stuff is going on. Business is happening on that end of the ship. They're too busy to help him. That's what it really comes down to. Miller, as he finishes setting the explosive and he gets the manual detonator, suddenly the burning guy from his dreams shows up and shoots fire at him out of his hand, which that's a new power. He's Pyro from the X-Men. And Miller has to kind of dive through the spinny corridor of the blender corridor and jump into the engine room to avoid the fire. And it's really just we're driving Miller to the engine.
Yeah.
And then the burning guy shows up in the engine room.
But he has the detonator.
But he has the detonator in his hand. And the burning guy kind of tosses Miller around a little bit. Again, this is like a horror movie's favorite way to beat up somebody without doing them enough physical injury that's like obvious. It's just toss them against a wall a bunch of times.
And also you're demonstrating the superhuman strength of the aggressor.
Right.
It's...
I don't know. They could have done something more graphic and extreme, like snap an ankle or cut off a limb or something.
Yeah.
But instead, this is what we did. The burning guy then morphs and turns into Weir. And Weir has his eyes back, but he's also naked. So trade off.
Covered, all carved up with symbols.
I think some of those were already there, if we're being honest with ourselves. So then Weir kind of like he can like psychically show Miller what hell has got in store for all of them, which is fun. We get a few more flash snippets of the remaining crew. Actually, I think it's like the entire crew being tortured in hell.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And Miller picks up an O2 scrubber that fell into the coolant liquid and tries to fight off Weir. Weir beats the shit out of Miller, tosses him around some more. Miller ends up... the doorway starts to open, the gateway starts to open. Miller ends up landing near the detonator, and he grabs it and uses it and blows the corridor. And it works. The front part of the ship kind of like drifts away. A black hole kind of opens around the engine end, the ass end of the ship, and sucks the ship through. Weir is very upset by this.
He gets to go back, and he gets to take Lawrence Fishburne with him.
I mean, he's got Lawrence Fishburne, but like, I gotta wonder, like, okay, this hell dimension, how much is it hell?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, Lawrence Fishburne just did a noble self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
And a tremendous act of atonement for him. You know, like, so what is hell going to be like for him?
Well, I mean, it's, maybe there isn't a religious connotation to this hell. I mean, they do just say that it's
a universe of suffering.
Yeah, it's a dimension of pure evil, to paraphrase what Weir himself says at some point.
But it also seems to have a pretty intense corrupting energy to it. Like, I feel like you run out, it's like people are like chewing gum and they run out of flavor really fast, because like the previous captain of the Event Horizon, we saw him in hell in the video snippet holding his own hands in his hands and talking in Latin, but he has a smile on his face, like he's enjoying himself. So it's which again brings to mind that kind of Clive Barker Hellraiser concept of like pain and pleasure are just the same ends of a sliding scale, and we're going to show you that. Yeah. Eventually you're going to understand that this is going to feel good to you.
Yeah, it's going to twist you and pervert you until this is what your life is about.
Yeah.
And well, and maybe he was pissed because what he wanted was the ship intact, because he wanted to be able to use it to move back and forth. Because
potentially, it's implied without the bridge, there's no control over the gravity drive.
Yeah, this is this ship is the only thing that bridges the two.
I mean, I think
universes.
On a base level, I think I just assumed that like he wanted everyone he could get, and Miller denied him. Justin, Stark, and Cooper, essentially. And like I guess the bodies of everybody else.
Justin is still alive, isn't he?
He is still alive.
He's still at a grav couch.
He's one of the survivors, weirdly enough. So anyway, either way, the engine disappears. We cut to a little bit of an afterward. 72 days later, a rescue ship is picking up what's left of the Event Horizon. and the rescue crew goes into the Grav Couch Bay, and they find Justin, Stark, and Cooper still alive, and they do confirm that in dialogue that there are 3 survivors. These are the 3, and they wake up Stark, and the rescue guy, he lifts up his visor, and it's Weir underneath. And then Stark wakes up again, and it was just a nightmare, and she's actually like, everybody's awake and they're safe and everything, and it's her. The last moments we get are her freaking out while Cooper tries to keep assuring her that it's all right, it's over, they're fine, they're going to be okay. And then we pull out and the doors close behind them, and then we get the song "Funky Shit" by The Prodigy. Roll credits. Just one last little, the 90s. All right.
Yeah, it's how every movie should end, really.
I like that album. The Prodigy Experience doesn't.
In spite of the anxiety it gives you,
it doesn't give me as much anxiety. Fat of the Land is a little bit worse, but the Prodigy Experience is pretty good. But anywho, that might be the Experience. It might be the second one. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so that is Event Horizon. It's for my money, it is a fun movie. I'm not denigrating it, certainly. It's just that, like, I thought it was an undiscovered classic, and then watching it again, I'm like, well, classic is a strong word. I do think that more movies could take this angle, because so often you see sci-fi horror go in a less serious tone. Yeah. And it's to its detriment.
And less supernatural. The Alien. It's not supernatural. It's a being.
Right. And specifically that kind of sci-fi horror that's like supernatural horror. Yeah. Because there's like
I can't think of a lot.
And Leprechaun 4.
And Jason X.
Jason X. You know what I mean? Like, this is the legacy of supernatural sci-fi horror. There is that Hellraiser 4 that is...
is Hellraiser 4 in space?
Partially. It's actually a story told out of order, because it starts in space and it ends in space with a guy in space trying to summon Cenobites in space. And which is really just, like, shorthand for it's the future. Yeah. It's not the worst Hellraiser movie.
I don't think I have watched an entire Hellraiser movie beyond the second.
There's no reason to.
I know that they aren't very good beyond that, but it's something I've been thinking about lately, wanting to like go back and revisit series and watch them all.
I had a kick where I was trying to watch all of them, and I think I made it through 5 or 6 of them, and I never saw one that I hated. Yeah. But I also sat through the Class of Nukem High trilogy. You know what I mean? So it's like, take that for what you will. I always thought they were kind of...
you got taste.
I always thought they were kind of fun. I mean, like, my major problem with just the first 2 Hellraisers is that we actually don't... Well, the first Hellraiser, we don't get a lot of the kind of Hellraiser-ness of it. We don't raise a lot of hell. You know what I mean? We only get a little taste of the Cenobites. And I actually read... I can't remember the name of it now, but the Clive Barker novel where he ended the...
Hellbound Heart.
No. The one where he ended the Cenobite story.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
It's okay. I don't heartily recommend it. I do recommend seeing the Hellraiser movies if you're at all interested. They're fun. At least I would say there's one where there's a detective and he's...
I know I like the first 2.
The first 2 are great.
I haven't dug into the rest of them, and I'd like to. Because I mean, it's a premise that you could do a lot with, especially if you're just there for the gore and the violence.
And that's the thing. Past the first 2, it's just sort of like, okay, there's not a lot of continuing story. It's just like, this is the next person that encounters them.
Yeah, it's just expanding the mythos or whatever.
And I think this actually could have been slightly better if it had been a Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
I could see Weir as becoming a Cenobite instead of just sort of evil Weir, which he's kind of already starting at. But I don't know. It would have been interesting to be like, oh, this gravity drive you created is essentially the Lament configuration. But your form of it. And, yeah, you know. But for what it is, it's fun. It's sad that it failed so miserably. I don't know for the life of me why. Honestly, for the time period, I thought it was pretty damn good.
I mean, I didn't dig too much into the marketing. It maybe just didn't get pushed enough. It had a great cast. It had a good pedigree. It should have done well.
Yeah.
And at that time, because and also, I don't think that until we decided to do it for this that I realized that it hadn't done well. It was one of those movies that came out, and I think I saw it in the theater. I know I rented it as soon as it was available, and me and all my friends liked it.
Right.
So, I guess I just assumed that it was...
That was popular.
Yeah, it fits. I mean, it's got the same late 90s vibe of Blade and Matrix. And
it's got a solid cast. Like, Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, like, those are big names.
Yeah.
There's no reason why, like I said, there's no, I'd have to go back and look at the box office, see what else it was up against that might have been an issue. But the 90s is also that time where, like, there were things that stuck and the things that didn't. And it's if we decided it wasn't cool to worship at that altar, then we just didn't. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it revisited, though.
And, they could do it for a much lower budget now. They could
absolutely.
And if the right people got their hands on it and wanted to do, like, lean into the gore, make like an extreme kind of, show us hell.
Yeah.
You could get away with it now.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, like, the thing is there's a lot of sci-fi conventions that it takes time to explain and explore that we already have shorthand for. I highly recommend it. It is a snapshot of 90s greatness, but it's also just a cool story. Like, they intended it to be a haunted house movie set in space, and it manages to do that, I think, really well.
I think so.
Yeah, and like I said, like, it's a cool concept of, it's not just a house that is haunted. It is the house that is the haunting.
Yeah, it's the entity.
Yes.
It's taken on the qualities of the haunter.
Yeah. It is the haunt.
The house is haunting you.
In Soviet Russia, house haunts you.
But the CGI is crap. I keep saying that it gets in the way, but if you're looking for really good practical effects, it's got a pile of them. And
that's the thing, is it has both. And the CGI effects fall away because they just sort of use it for those, like, oh, we're in zero-G and stuff. And most of the important stuff is a practical effect in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and the cast is incredible. Like, there's not a bad performance in the whole movie.
No, and there's never a performance that, like, takes you out of it or anything like that.
No. And dialogue that might have been stupid otherwise is managed well by actors who know what they're doing. And
I think it works. Yeah, it is easy with that because they dance around the point of A, that the gateway takes you to hell, and B, that that Weir is the source of evil. Because the whole idea that the ship is alive is kind of, as soon as they see it, they start talking about that.
Yeah.
So, just like the idea, I think it is interesting to see, this is the future, these are spacefaring people. They are loath to say this ship has been to hell because of the religious connotations of it.
Yeah.
But essentially that's what it is.
Yeah. It's a place that is what we would think of as hell. Whether it's, legitimately founded by Satan,
whether it's legitimately hell or not,
yeah.
It's the closest thing we're going to come to it.
It may not be Catholic hell, but it's it's hell.
I was raised Catholic, so to hear it described as Catholic hell, I have no defense of that. That is exactly what it is.
Well, because that's the hell we worry about. Like, it's specifically,
It is. I had, I was never a huge fan of the Catholic religion, not to get it too far into it, but, like, I did have a serious moment where I was, like, 12 years old when my mom was like, I'm not expecting you to keep up with this. This is because these are your grandparents here. That's it. And she was like, before you go to bed each night, you sit and think about everything you did wrong today, huh? And I was like, oh my God, yes. It's like, yeah, nobody actually ever told you to do that, but you're still doing it.
Yeah.
It's still baked in somehow. But it's the Catholic version of hell. It's an eternity of suffering, big scary demons poking you in the ass with pitchforks for all eternity.
I mean, the ship was designed after a famous cathedral.
It's got, that's the thing that I like about it, is it has this grandiose Gothic feel to it that it doesn't actually need to have. Like, in terms of what the story needs, it doesn't need that, but it contributes.
It does. And the geography of the ship, you know, I guess in reality, any black hole would suck you in from any distance if you could see it.
Well, this is a mini black hole.
Got it, and it's in
It's
containment.
artificial. It's artificial. It's fine.
But it still makes sense to put it on the far back end of the thing.
I like the idea. Like,
we're all way up here.
We're 100% confident in this. It's totally going to work. Let's make sure that we can blow up a thing to get it away from us in case we need to. And it's all the way over there, and we're all the way over here.
Just stranded in space is better than sucked into black hole.
Yeah.
But it's a great... It also, you know, we didn't talk about it, but I got strong Sphere vibes when Justin very first interacts with the gate. Did you remember?
Yeah. I feel like I said, I feel like that's a kind of a thing a thing that you thought was solid is suddenly like a pool, and
it pulling you in and changing you. That's
sure.
That's
Sphere.
Sphere.
Yes, I get you. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's cool. It is a great movie, I think. I have fond memories of it, and I enjoyed rewatching it. You're right, it's very dated. But I like that. I really do, because I love going back and watching 90s movies, just like I like watching 80s movies, because I do feel like after 2000, everything since 2000 has just kind of looked like the same shit. You know, I don't think decades are defined by their aesthetic anymore.
You are hard-pressed. Every time I see something that's of the decades and they talk about the aughts and the 10s and the 20s, I'm like, I don't see the difference you're going for so much.
And it's not just because we're old. I mean, I was in my 20s in the aughts. Like, that was a...
Yeah.
I was still relatively in touch with what was going on. And
I do think that there was a kind of a buildup of anxiety as the 90s reached a peak, because the 90s have always been like so deeply cynical to me.
Yeah.
So much of the material is the material from that time period is like, well, we're trying to be cool, and being cool is defined as not caring. So anything that cares is not cool. And the aughts, we kind of finally pushed past that.
We tried to, but we had 9/11 and a real dark period there, and then
that's definitely a turning point.
Well, but the 90s were the pendulum swinging back for the 80s. You know, the 70s were gritty,
Right.
The 80s were fluff and cocaine, and then the 90s were grunge and black
everything
leather.
is a reaction to what came before. I just don't know what the aughts were reacting to, and as far as the 10s and 20s, I'm still fuzzy.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
Well, we got swamped by the internet after the aughts, like during
true.
the aughts.
The internet became an entity. Yes,
and it's the medium that we've all been homogenized in. You know,
that's true. Yeah. So wow, we're all over the place.
Yeah, we are.
But yes, I do still recommend this movie. I do still enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a slap in the face to see just how 90s it was. This movie told me that I'm a loser for liking Stabbing Westward. You know what I mean? Like, that's how 90s this movie is.
That's so funny, because like that's like a running joke with me and Amber, that, you know, the Stabbing Westward being on the soundtrack of the 90s, like horror movie or whatever, you know, like like Urban Legend or whatever, like
Spawn. They were the homogenized version of that kind of goth rock of the time.
Yeah, it was sort of, you know, nu metal was rising, like grunge was fading, like it's
a different time. and we had Event Horizon,
and
and
then
we didn't appreciate it, and it went away.
and 2 years later we got The Matrix.
Was it for the best? I don't know. That's
I
not
think
for me to
mostly
say.
we just wanted to see Lawrence Fishburne in a cyberpunk spaceship situation again.
You know what? That's probably true. That's
We
what
didn't get
did.
enough of that from Event Horizon. We knew we could do
didn't.
better.
We didn't. We were like, get his hair off of him, get him back out there.
Yep.
Tiny sunglasses. Sunglasses.
And Kung Fu.
And Kung Fu.
But I think we've done it, man. I think we've...
Yeah, I think we've covered all the bases.
Next time we were going to do The Void,
The Void.
which I am jazzed about.
I am very excited to watch this love letter to Carpenter once again.
Yeah, and I love talking about practical effects, obviously, and I'm going to
and
get to.
God
'cause-
damn, do they ever... It's quality stuff. Quality
Yep.
stuff. Can't wait. All right. Well, I will see you next time, Chris.
See you next time, Joe.
All right.
Signing off.
There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
I'm plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
We've got to return some videotapes.